Hello and welcome to the Premier League for Matchday 3, and my name is Gary Lineker, and these are the official games featuring, and we'll start first in the River Thames Derby as AFC Richmond versus Chelsea, and then the huge game at the Emirates as the rivalry that goes through the years with the Keanes and the Vieiras and the Wengers and the Fergusons, as is Arsenal versus Manchester United, and then the game highlights from the other games throughout the Premier League across the country. Let's go now to the first match. It's the River Thames Derby, as we have is AFC Richmond taking on Chelsea. And let's get straight into the action, as it's Ted Lasso's Richmond taking on Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. And can Richmond win their first game at home this season, as it's AFC Richmond's first home game this season played since we started off this league campaign at the Nelson Road Stadium. And let's get to the action right now between AFC Richmond and Chelsea in the River Thames Derby. Hello and welcome today live at the Nelson Road Stadium here today for the River Thames Derby, and it is AFC Richmond versus Chelsea. And this is a big game. This is of course here today down in South London. The first game opening for AFC Richmond. We never ever had AFC Richmond played at home yet this season so far. They played 2 games. They beat Portsmouth away from home at Fratton Park by 4-3 last week. And did actually lose to Liverpool by 5-1 at Anfield. But today they host Chelsea here today in the River Thames Derby. And let's get this game underway right now between the two teams here right now. And AFC Richmond, of course, are putting the same team as the last 2 games of the Premier League. Obviously, Jesse Lingard playing in that midfield with Roy Kent, the captain, for the AFC Richmond team. Jamie Tart and Danny Rojas up front for AFC Richmond. And also for Chelsea Football Club, their lineup, of course, that they done quite well. They beat Southampton last week by 1-0. They did actually win their first game of the season as well against Manchester City at the Etihad by a shocker, and they obviously got a 100% record going to this matchup here today. But can they extend that if they can beat Richmond here today in the River Thames Derby? And Jorginho playing, we've got Mason Mount up front, we've got Tammy Abraham and Mertens up front, and Thomas Tuchel's got a very strong team like he has done since the Southampton match and also the Man City match. But also today he's got another stronger team coming into this match here today. Hopefully they can beat AFC Richmond here today. It's a big match, I've got to say, right here, right now. And now here's Tammy Abraham. Oh, shot and a save right there for the goalkeeper. And Abraham was through and he wanted to try and put that ball into the back of the net. But it was a great save though for the goalkeeper for AFC Richmond. And now it's going to be now a corner kick here for Reece James. Crosses it in. Header away. Now is Hughes. Now Rojas. Now Hughes on the attack here. Nicely done here for AFC Richmond here. And now Chelsea win it back. Now it's Declan Rice. Now here's a chance here now for Mertens here for Chelsea. Could be a chance for Abraham, and a save there for the goalkeeper. Very nicely saved there from him. And now it's Rojas on the attack. Very nicely done here for Hughes here. Hughes is on the attack here for AFC Richmond here. There's a chance here for AFC Richmond to score, but good defending there from Chelsea. Very solid at the back they've been. They've been that throughout the last 2 games as well. And obviously Rojas has been appealed for offside. He was offside, he was there. And now here's Rice. Now Mertens. Now Jorginho. He's through. Chance. Good defending there from AFC Richmond. Very good defending from them. And now Chelsea win the ball back here. Now it's Rice. Now Tammy Abraham. And he scores. And Chelsea are in the lead. Yep, Chelsea are in the lead here at the Nelson Road Stadium. And they've scored the breakthrough here today in the 22nd minute of the matchup. And Richmond did very well to hold that back, but there wasn't enough, and Chelsea scored, and it's now 1-0. And now, here's Lingard. Now Tart. Lingard! He scores! Jesse Lingard equalises, and AFC Richmond are back in level terms. He's running to the manager, Ted Lasso. He's running towards him, and he does. And that's very nicely done there for Lingard right there to score that great goal to make it 1-1. And now here's Mason Mount. And now Mount. Now is a chance here for Abraham. Chance maybe. Oh, save there for the keeper. Keeper saves it with his hands. And now is now it looks like it'll be a free kick here. I think it is for Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea have got a free kick. Free kick here now for Jorginho to take the free kick here for Chelsea. Now Mount knocks it there to Cesar Azpilicueta. Now Mertens. Now Declan Rice. Abraham. Good defending. Good defending. Now Reece James. Oh, Jorginho. Oh, it's 2-1 and Chelsea scored before half time. Very good goal for Chelsea, the Blues. They've done it. And it was a great goal for Chelsea right there. Nice sweaty right there for Chelsea. And he's running all the way to the away crowd here, Mertens. And all the Chelsea supporters, of course, he's running towards. And that is nicely done there from Chelsea right there. What a goal. And it's now 2-1 to Chelsea in this match. Yeah, easy sweaty there. And now here's Declan Rice. Now Tammy Abraham, he's through. Now Abraham's through. Tammy Abraham. And it's 3-1 and Chelsea extended their lead against AFC Richmond. A very good goal, of course, there for Tammy Abraham. He did so well, he did there, to go through like that. And he does. And it's a beautiful, beautiful goal for him. And it's now 3-1 to Chelsea. And now is Luis Alberto. Now is Mertens. And now. Oh, that's a goal. It's now 4-1. And Chelsea have extended their lead even more to 4-1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, very good goal right there for Mertens. He did incredibly well right there. And that's his second goal for today for Chelsea. They are storming AFC Richmond here. Defensively, they're very outnumbered here. And now it looks like Chelsea extended their lead to 4-1 in this matchup. And there you go. Now here's there's a tackle there. Now is Chilwell. Now Reece James. That's a foul right there. That is from AFC Richmond player. Fouled Reece James here. And looks like Danny Roaz is going to be booked. And it's a yellow card for Danny Roaz. He took him out, and obviously Roy Kent is trying to keep him away from trouble here. And Chelsea, of course, got themselves a free kick. Now Chelsea to start Azpilicueta. Now pass it short here now to Ben Chilwell. Now Jorginho. Now Chilwell. Chilwell now to Reece James. Is it going to be a goal? Is it going to be... Oh, it's not. Is it header off? Oh, wait a second here. The referee has pointed to the spot and it's a penalty. Chelsea have got a penalty because it was a handball. It was from... yeah, it was a handball. It hit his arm by mistake. But it's very strict, of course, how VAR works in this Premier League. And now Chelsea have got themselves a penalty. And Lingard comes off as well for AFC Richmond. And now penalty here for Chelsea to make it 5 here today. Jorginho. Can he make it 5 for Chelsea? And he does. And Chelsea make it 5. They are absolutely storming AFC Richmond here. Destroying them in this matchup. And that is beautifully set and done right there for Jorginho here. Now, here's Roy Kent. Now Roaz. Roaz, the save right there for the goalkeeper. Nice shot there from Roaz. And now it's going to be now a corner. Header away. Now Mason Mount on the attack here for Mason. Now is Mertens here. And it's now 6. Yeah, it's 6. And that is a hat-trick right there for Mertens. And the hat-trick was scored. He's on fire today. I've got to say, the Belgian forward. And he puts it in. And Chelsea now are 6-1 up right there. Beautifully set and done right there. Puts in that top right corner. Now here's Declan Rice. Now Mertens. Now Tammy Abraham. Oh my God, they've absolutely outclassed AFC Richmond. AFC Richmond have been absolutely hopeless. They've been absolutely hopeless. And AFC Richmond are just giving up, they are. And the team from the other side of the River Thames are now leading by 7 goals to 1 in this match. Yeah, what a game, I've got to say. And Chelsea make it now 7 goals to 1 in a derby match as well. Very uneven here, men versus boys. Now Tuchel puts a substitution on for Chelsea. Now here's Sasala Quetta. Now Abraham's through. Now Mertens. Now is Mertens here. He might look for an 8th goal. And he does. That's his 4th goal, that is. His 4th goal today. He's absolutely been a goal machine. He's been Dries Mertens. And he deserves to be the man of the match by the end of the day. And AFC Richmond are absolutely hopeless. They are. There's no way back now. And the game ends here today as Chelsea win the match by 8 goals to 1. And all thanks to Dries Mertens to score 4 goals today. And he wins the match ball because of it. And they destroyed AFC Richmond in the River Thames derby by 8 goals to 1. What a huge win for Chelsea Football Club. They turned up here today at AFC Richmond and absolutely thrashed them by 8 goals to 1 away from home in the River Thames derby. And what AFC Richmond were playing at in their first home game of the season to be thrashed here in Matchday 3 by 8 goals to 1. And Chelsea were the stronger team throughout the whole game, and Richmond were very defenceless in the whole entire match. But congratulations, of course, to Dries Mertens to score 4 goals today for Chelsea to actually win the match ball in today's matchup. And now let's get into the big matchup here today. The real battle, the real big deal rivalry that happened throughout the last 30 years now between the Wengers and the Fergusons, the Keanes and the Vieira rival, and the big old traditional rival between 2 successful clubs in the British Premier League, as it's Arsenal taking on Manchester United. And let's get to the game here today at the Emirates. And we are here today at the Emirates Stadium here as a big battle is between Arsenal and Manchester United. This rivalry goes way back for many, many years. And now, of course, here today between Arteta and Solskjaer, who is going to get a result out of each other here today. Arsenal, of course, have got a 100% record so far this season. They've beaten Everton at home at the start of the season and also went to Celtic last week and beat them by 2 goals to 1. And now, this is a huge test for Arsenal to keep their 100% record alive, and they're up against Manchester United, the defending champions of the Premier League from last season, and they really hope that they can get something out of this one. Man U did lose to Aston Villa last week by 2 goals to 1 at Old Trafford. So if they can win here today, that will be something they can bounce back from. But I don't think that's going to be the case, unfortunately. But we know that it's a big matchup between Arsenal and also here Manchester United. And we've got Jesus up front, we've got Zaha up front as well. And Odegaard as well, and Aqua in that midfield, and Saka and Martinelli. A very good lineup here for Arsenal. For Manchester United, of course, they know that this is a big win. Need a win here today after that loss last week. I couldn't believe they lost to Aston Villa at home last week by 2 goals to 1 in the last seconds of the game from a goal from Ollie Watkins last week. But this week, can they actually get back in winning ways? They've got a strong team they've got. Let's see if they can really hope that they can get something out of this match between the two here, between Man U and Arsenal. Now here's Man United here. Now there's a good ball here now to Luke Shaw. And now that's going to be now a corner kick here for Manchester United. Good start to Man United here so far. Man U have been really pressing on Arsenal. They have to, really, after that defeat last week to Aston Villa at home. And their expectation at Manchester United is very high for their team. They are a 2-time Premier League consecutive winners from the last 2 seasons before this season just begun. So they are the Premier League champions from the 2020-20 and 21 season and 21-22 season. And hopefully this season they can do the exact same thing. And a header right there, but saved there from Ramsdale. Now is Wilfred Zaha. Now is Martin Odegaard now for Arsenal. Good ball, good control there from Odegaard right here now. And now here's Jesus. Looking for a chance maybe here. Gabriel Jesus. Now to Aqua. Oh, good defending there from the Wan-Bissaka there for Manchester United. Yeah, what a rivalry this is between the two teams. Go way back 30 years, this rivalry. You know, with the Wengers and the, you know, Sir Alex Fergusons, and going from the Vieiras and the Keanes. And obviously 30 years later, of course, this rivalry still continues between the two. And now corner kick here for Arsenal here. Now Saka. Okay, headed away right there from Man U's defence. Now is Bukayo Saka. And now pass it there to now Sancho here. Now is Rashford on the attack here for Manchester United here. They're on the attack here now. It looks like they passed it there to Wan-Bissaka for Manchester United here. Now Wan-Bissaka now is going to cross it in here for Man U. Good header there from Saliba right there from Arsenal here. Now it's Odegaard. Now is Wilfred Zaha. And now here's Harry Kane. And now Rashford back to Kane. And Kane scores. And Man United are in the lead at the Emirates. That is huge for Arsenal to concede that goal in that stage of the matchup. For Man U, however, they've got to keep it that way. They've scored already, and they'll be very happy about that. All thanks to Harry Kane to put it into the back of the net. And Arsenal, of course, are trailing by 1-0 from a goal from Harry Kane. And Ramsdale couldn't do nothing about that, unfortunately. So, and it's now 1-0 to United. Now here's Saka. Bukayo Saka's through. Nice counter-attack here for Saka. He's 1v1 to Navas, and he scores. And Arsenal are back in level terms. They are back in level terms here at the Emirates here. All the Arsenal fans are loving it. They're adoring Saka. And he did score quite a few goals already this season so far at the Emirates against Everton at the start of the season. He performed quite well in that game. And he's doing very, very well here today. As now Arsenal, of course, are now level pegging against Manchester United in this match. What a goal. What a screamer. Now here's Gabriel Jesus. Now Wilfred Zaha. Now Jesus is through. Jesus is through. Oh, a save there from Navas. Good save there from Keylor Navas right there. Now corner kick here for Arsenal here. Good clearance away from Manchester United here. Now getting it away right here again. Header it back forward here. Now lost it. And now Man U's through here now. It's Rashford here. Rashford now to Sancho. Now could be. Good defender there from Arsenal right at the back right there. Now is Martin Odegaard now on the attack here for Arsenal to try and get in the lead here maybe. So now Zaha now. Now to Jesus, he's through. Gabriel Jesus, and Arsenal are through. And they've scored another goal, and they're back here in the lead for the first time in this matchup. As Man U were leading by 1-0, and Arsenal have pounced on that. And now they, of course, are in the lead now before half-time. And it's a great goal there from Arsenal right there from Gabriel Jesus. And Zaha there did really give a nice ball there to Jesus to finish it. And he does. And now Arsenal are now, of course, are now 2-1 up before half-time. Very good. Very good. And the Gunners, of course, are marching in this match. Now here's Zaha. And now here's Martinelli here. He's through. Oh, wait, a penalty. A penalty's been given here. It's a foul, of course, I think, from Real Abidal. And he's been booked, of course, from Manchester United, of course. Real Abidal right there. And now it's going to be a yellow card for him. And Martinelli was fouled in the box. He could be injured, he could be here, he could be. But Arsenal have got themselves a penalty. A penalty for Arsenal here. And obviously Martinelli comes off and Cedric comes on for the Gunners here. And Isco obviously comes on as well, replaced by Dan James is coming on in fact. So it's going to be Bukayo Saka versus Navas. A save there from Navas. They're trying to extend their lead to make it 3-1. A save. A beautiful save right there from Keylor Navas there. He stopped him in his tracks with his save there with his one hand on his left hand. Now corner here for the Gunners here. And now cross into the box here. A chance maybe. And wait a second, it's a handball again. And another penalty for Arsenal. Oh my God, another penalty for Arsenal again. Man, you've just given away 2 penalties. One was saved by Navas and now they've got another penalty here. I think it was Harry Kane who handballed it by a mistake. And now it's going to be now Robin Salt as Saka is going to make it 3-1 here to Arsenal here in this matchup here. What a game. What a rivalry between the two. And the Gunners here, Arsenal, Saka for the second time, and he finally scores his penalty like he didn't do the last one. And now Arsenal are now 3-1 up to the good here in this match. Yeah, very good. Very entertaining scenes here at the Gunners at the Emirates here today. Great strike there from Saka right there in his top right corner. Now on the attack here now to is Gabriel Jesus. Now Jesus here, save, Jesus! Oh, okay, that's going to be now disallowed for a free kick here for the Man United right here, I think it is. Wait a second, no, referee says allowing it, he's allowing it. And I thought it was disallowed actually in fact, but it's not, as Arsenal have scored. I got so confused. I thought that goal was disallowed right there for offside, but it wasn't. And Man United have actually considered another goal, and Arsenal have extended their lead to 4-1, all thanks to Gabriel Jesus. I think it was Navas was the one who fumbled it, and now Arsenal have extended their lead to 4-1 in this match. And now Martin Odegaard comes off for the Gunners here, replaced by Sammy Lokonga is going to be coming on for Arsenal here. Arteta's another sub for him here today, for Mikel Arteta's team. And now Arsenal, of course, going for a short corner here. Now pass to Sahar from Saka. Oh, there's a penalty! Another penalty's been chanced. Oh, there's a foul there from Ben White. It was Wan-Bissaka who actually collided with Ben White, and the referee is pointed to the spot for a penalty and a yellow card for Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, things are not looking good for things are getting bad to worse here for Manchester United in this matchup here, as we've got a penalty coming up here between here Saka and Navas. Bukayo Saka, oh, save right there from Keylor Navas. Yes, what a save there from Keylor Navas right there. A beautiful save from him. And Navas, the Costa Rican goalkeeper, made 2 saves out of Saka today, and one of them was actually a goal. But he did well to stop them out, the penalties, of course. Navas twice today's match. And now Arsenal might look for a 5th here, maybe. Could make it worse here for Manchester United. A save there from Navas again. A save there from Navas. Now throwing away from Man United here now. There's Harry Kane. Now Anthony Martial, the super sub. Now Martial is running all the way here. And Arsenal's defence are going to get back because Man United might score. He could do. And they do. And Anthony Martial equalises. They've only got 10 minutes left of the game to go. But that's something they've got to say, as now Arsenal are now conceded a goal. And it's now 4-2 now, as we know that it's a great goal there from Martial. And it's Arsenal 4, Man United 2. And now is a chance here at the end of the game. Man United might get a 3rd goal, maybe so here, perhaps so. Now to Harry Kane. Now it's Wan-Bissaka here on the counter-attack here. Is there a chance? Oh, save there from Ramsdale. Now it's going to be a corner here. And now it's Bruno Fernandes. Crosses it in. And now that's going to be now a end of the match. The whistle has officially blown at the Emirates here, as Arsenal have won the match by 4-2 against Manchester United. It was absolutely beautiful. It was there for the Gunners. They did extremely well, they did, to get themselves another 3 points and extended their 100% record to 9 points at the start of the season. And Bukayo Saka, he deserves to be the man of the match today, as it was Arsenal who won the game by 4-2 at the Emirates. And it was a huge win for Arsenal. They got themselves the 3 points, they did, and they beat Manchester United, the famous Manchester United, by 4-2 here today. And it was a very pandemonial matchup, goals either way. But Arsenal, however, were the stronger team, and they scored 2 better goals, better off, compared to Man United scored the 2 in the game. And they got themselves another 3 points in the table, and they stay in 2nd place after the victory here today against Man U. And now let's get to the game highlights for all the highlights on the other matches here today for Matchday 3 of the Premier League. There's a big battle at the bottom end of the table of the Premier League, as Southampton almost scored, but it was saved and stopped by Jordan Pickford. And goal and technology was given as no goal, as the ball was could have gone into the back of the net, but Jordan Pickford made a great save on the line to keep it out for Everton for the Toffees. And then Everton had a chance here from goal before half time, and it was a shot but went wide. And then James Ward-Prowse with the free kick and passed it very short to Phil Jones and striped it from long range, but it went wide for a goal kick. And Ralph Hasenhüttl wasn't very pleased on the sidelines when Phil Jones strikes it from that long range. Wonder why. Can't blame him. Then the Toffees at the second half, and with Anthony Gordon to make it 1-0 to Everton, and the Toffees made it 1-0 at St Mary's. And then Everton, of course, made it 2-0 in the matchup, as was a goal from Decore to make it 2-0, as the Toffees extended their lead to 2-0 in the matchup here at St Mary's. Then Decore made it his second goal for Everton in the 90th minute of the matchup to seal their 3 points and their first win of their Premier League campaign. It was a great goal from Decore from a set-up from Anthony Gordon, as both were on the score sheet today for the Toffees. And the battle of the bottom of the table, as it was Southampton was thrashed by 3-0 to Everton. And in Anfield, obviously, Liverpool got themselves 1-0 up in front in the first 5 minutes of the game, all thanks to a great goal there from Pablo Dybala. And then Liverpool, like what they do best, is to counter-attack their opponents, and they did that in the second goal, as it was Pablo Dybala was actually sweated it to Darwin Núñez to make it 2-0, as Liverpool extended their lead against Portsmouth by 2-0. It was a beautiful sweaty there, giving it to Darwin Núñez and smacked it in. And then it was the third goal was scored for Liverpool in the 35th minute of the matchup, again, as it was Pablo Dybala on the counter-attack and had a shot and made it 3-0 to score his second goal in the game here at Anfield. And then Portsmouth got back in the game and scored a goal before half-time at Anfield by a goal from Ize. And Pompey did actually get 1 goal back in the game. Maybe hopes they can get back and make a comeback against the mighty Liverpool, perhaps so. And then Liverpool extended it to make it now 4-1 before half-time. All thanks to a goal again from Pablo Dybala to score a hat-trick for Liverpool. And then Liverpool made it now 5-1. There was another goal again there from Pablo Dybala to make it 5-1 against Portsmouth. Then another goal was scored again for Pablo Dybala in the 56th minute of the matchup to make it 6-1 to Liverpool. And then Liverpool to try and make it 7-1 in the game, but it actually was a handball from Veltman, as it was a penalty for Liverpool in the match. And then Liverpool got themselves a penalty in the 71st minute of the matchup, and it was again another goal from Pablo Dybala to make it 7-1 here at Anfield. And Dean Henderson couldn't stop that one from going into the back of the net, as he really timed that one, and it was actually 7-1 to Liverpool. Then Liverpool super sub Luis Diaz in the 83rd minute to end off the matchup for Liverpool, and as they scored against Portsmouth to actually end off the game as 8-1. Pablo Dybala deserves the match ball, he does, to score 6 goals in one game here against Portsmouth at Anfield. And they really destroyed them here today as the game ended as it was Liverpool 8, Portsmouth 1 at the end of the game. Manchester City were all over Celtic in the first 80 minutes of the match, but finally got the breakthrough from a sweaty from Sterling to pass the ball to Benzema, and it was 1-0 to Man City at the Etihad Stadium. And then there was a counter-attack for Manchester City to try and make it 2-0 in the matchup. As a strike beautifully set and done, as it was Phil Foden who made it 2-0 for Man City. And then Manchester City, of course, to make it 3-0 as Phil Foden was on the score sheet again for Manchester City to really dominate Celtic in the match here today at the Etihad. And Phil Foden was very, very nice and composed right there, 1v1 to Joe Hart, the former Man City goalkeeper, and he puts it home to make it 3-0 to Manchester City. And then Man City again to make it 4-0 as it was a beautifully set and goal done there from Jude Bellingham to make it 4-0 in the match. His first goal for Man City as a player in the Premier League. A beautiful goal from that corner right there to put it into the back of the net as Jude Bellingham scores to make Man City go 4-0 up against Celtic. And then just before the end of the matchup, it was actually a goal from Benzema to make it 5-0 in the match as Celtic were absolutely toasted. They were absolutely toasted, and Man City were the better team, and they really dominated Celtic throughout the whole game. And very beautifully done it was from Benzema to score by. And the game ended here at the Etihad Stadium as it was Manchester City 5, Celtic 0 at the Etihad as the game ended here today between the two teams. Leeds United, of course, got themselves a goal. They did in the 12th minute of the match at Villa Park Stadium and scored as the Colombian forward scored it. Luis Sierra made it 1-0 to Leeds in the match. But then Aston Villa got themselves back in the game in the 15th minute of the matchup from a goal from Leon Bailey, the Jamaican, to make it 1-1 in the matchup, as it was actually a 1v1 finish it was, and really beat all the defenders for Leeds. And it was 1v1 there to the goalkeeper, and he puts it into that top left corner of the goal. Then Leeds got back in the game to make it 2-1 against Aston Villa, as it was a very, very, very good scrappy defending from Aston Villa's defending. And then finally Leeds got the ball, found them out very nicely, and it was Joe Gelhardt puts it into the back of the net, as Leeds, of course, made it 2-1 at Villa Park. And then again Aston Villa got themselves back into the game as it went 2-2 it was, and it was a beautiful goal there from Leon Bailey to put it into the back of the net it was, and it was obviously Ollie Watkins had a shot saved for the goalkeeper, rebound into Leon Bailey with no one there in the goal, and all he had to do is hit it in to make it 2-2. And then obviously Aston Villa there from Jack Grealish had a strike but saved by the goalkeeper for Leeds United. Then Aston Villa trying to get in front for the first time in this matchup against Leeds United, but however the goalkeeper stopped that shot from going to the back of the net, as it was Aston Villa got themselves a corner. Finally, in the last minute of the game, it was Aston Villa finally got themselves in front for the first time ever in this matchup here today, as Leeds were 1-0 up and 2-1 up they were. And then Villa, of course, got back from that to make it 3-2. It was from Ollie Watkins, beautiful header to make it 3-2 to Aston Villa. And they've extended their win again for another victory after beating Man U last week by beating Leeds here today by 3-2 at Villa Park. It was a very good start for Spurs in the 6th minute of the matchup as they scored against Brentford to make it 1-0 for Tottenham Hotspur. All thanks to Fekir to make it 1-0. Then Fekir again got themselves in the score sheet once more in the 12th minute of the matchup to make it 2-0 against Brentford. And obviously Fekir was very dominant against the Brentford defence, and Brentford couldn't do nothing about that, unfortunately so, and it was actually 2-0 to Tottenham from a goal from Fekir. And then it was a Brentford Football Club, of course, trying to get a goal in the match, but saved by the goalkeeper Anthony Lopez from a shot there from Kasper Dolsberg. And he had his shot, but then saved by the goalkeeper to stop that from going into the back of the net. And Spurs were looking for a third goal before half-time to kill off the matchup, but it wasn't to be, as David Raya stopped that one from going to the back of the net from a beautiful save from that 1v1, and he got his leg out there for that great save there for Brentford. And then Brentford, of course, got themselves a goal back in the game. Could be a comeback they could try and get from this, as Janelt scored his second goal, his Premier League second goal this season he scored already this season, and he puts it into the back of the net to make Brentford get, hopefully, a comeback in the match. But that wasn't meant to be, unfortunately, so for Brentford, as it was Spurs who extended their lead for 3-1 in the match. That was a goal from Aspas, and there was no one at the back could actually stop him from scoring, and Spurs, of course, extended their lead to 3-1. But Tottenham Hotspur were absolutely great, they were today. They got themselves the 3 points and also the 3 goals. And Spurs, of course, are marching on as it was Spurs 3, Brentford 1 at the end of today's game at White Hart Lane. And then it was actually Wolves did very, very well in the 23rd minute of the matchup to actually try and score, but it was a save from Nick Pope to stop that one from going to the back of the net from a shot there from Morgan Gibbs-White. And then it was Wolves, of course, trying to get a goal in the match, but another save again from Nick Pope to stop there from Adama Traoré from scoring. There was a nice shot from him, and it was Nick Pope who stopped that one from going to the back of the net. And then there's a corner came in from Wolves. And finally, Wolves have got themselves the breakthrough from Raul Jimenez, as Newcastle were absolutely shocking throughout the last 34 minutes of the game. And finally, they got themselves their consequence, as Wolves have got themselves their first goal in the match here today at St James's Park. Then Wolves keeps on pressing Newcastle a lot in the match, and then a shot again, but Nick Pope stopped that one from going to the back of the net from a shot there from Wolves. And Wolverhampton Wanderers, of course, got themselves a goal to make it 2-0 to extend their lead by Wang Hee-Chang at St James's Park Stadium. He did incredibly well, he did, on the counter-attack he did, to actually not allow Nick Pope from saving that one, and obviously they're the Korean scores to make it 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Very poor at the back there for Newcastle, as Adama Traoré outpaced the Newcastle defender to end off the matchup for Wolves in the late stage of the matchup, as he scored for Wolverhampton Wanderers to make it 3-0 at St James's Park. And Botman couldn't catch up towards him due to his pace and whatnot. And Wolves got their first victory in this Premier League campaign after the last 2 defeats came against Liverpool and also Brentford in the opening game of the season, as that game ended by 4-1. But obviously Adama Traoré did very, very, very well, he did there, to actually score from a beautiful goal from him in the last stage of the matchup. But also the whole Wolves team were absolutely all over Newcastle in the whole matchup. And I know what's happened with Eddie Howe's team in this match, as it was crashed at St James's Park, as it was Newcastle 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. In the 23rd minute of the matchup, Ismail Sarr really outpaced the Leicester defenders, and all he had to do is sweat it to Adeo Ighalo to put it into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to Watford here at Vicarage Road. Igalo again to score his second goal for Watford, as Watford before half-time made it 2-0 against Leicester City at Vicarage Road, as it was actually a beautiful counter-attack it was there from João Pedro to pass the ball to Igalo, and that's his second goal today for Watford Football Club, and he'd be very happy about that one. That ball went to the back of the net. And then Leicester City, of course, trying to get back into the game. They actually did that, as it was actually a goal there from Jamie Vardy to actually make it 2-1. And they got one goal back from that, from Jamie Vardy. And also again, Leicester City trying to get a comeback against Watford. And it was another goal from Jamie Vardy to make it 2-2, and Watford were actually 2-0 up they were against Leicester City Football Club at Vicarage Road, and then Leicester got themselves back in the game to make it 2-2, and Jamie Vardy ain't giving up without a fight, and he finally did that by scoring 2 goals against Watford here at Vicarage Road. And the corner came in for Leicester City to try and make it 3-2, but a save from Bouchman to save that one, as that could have been into the back of the net, that could have done, but Bouchman saved it to keep that out. As both teams had a share a point out each other here at Vicarage Road, as Brendan Rodgers' team and Claudio Ranieri's side have both had to share a point against each other here today in this matchup. As the game ended here today at Vicarage Road, as it was Watford 2, Leicester City 2. Rangers were very sharp in the first 4 minutes of the game, and Morelos scored for Rangers to make it 1-0. West Ham's defence was very leaky at the back, and they gave away a silly mistake as the ball was given away in a dangerous position, as Rangers made it 2-0 from the same player, Morelos, to make it 2-0 in the matchup here at London Stadium. Finally, West Ham United have got their first ever Premier League goal of the season so far. After their last 2 matches, they didn't score at all any goals in a match, and they were the only team who have not done it throughout all the other teams in the Premier League. And Arnautovic made it 1 goal back for West Ham United and first goal of the season. And then West Ham to try and make it 2-2, and it did actually happen, and Mikel Artano made it 2-2 to get a comeback from 2-0 down to 2-2, and there's hope for West Ham United, the Irons, to actually hopefully get a draw or something out of this matchup they can hold on for dear life. But that was the case actually, so as it was Artano assisted Arnautovic to make it 3-2 to West Ham United at London Stadium, as Rangers unfortunately now are struggling themselves after their good start to the game. And then West Ham United were very, very great by actually scoring 3 goals in the matchup to make it 3-2 against Glasgow Rangers, and a very good goal there from Marko Arnautovic to make it 3-2, and that was nice. But then Rangers of course made it 3-3 as Morelos scored a hat-trick for Glasgow Rangers, and they ain't going to give up without a fight against West Ham United, and they actually done that by Morelos again to make it 3-3 to Glasgow Rangers. And then Rangers of course really want to get a win here today, and they actually were hoping to do so, and they did that by a 4th goal from Morelos, and he scored a 4th goal for Rangers to make it 4-3, and West Ham are actually heartbroken that they could have got a draw out today, but that wasn't to be, as Morelos scored in the late stage of the matchup. And Morelos did very, very well to score 4 goals. 4 goals to make Rangers get themselves another 3 points in the bag away from home here today at the London Stadium. West Ham came up short. They tried their best to try and get a draw or win out of Rangers here today, but Rangers, however, found a way to get something, as the game ended as West Ham United 3, Rangers 4. The official results for Matchday 3 of the Premier League we have is Watford 2, Leicester City 2. Newcastle United 0, Wolves 3, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 3, Leeds United 2, Manchester City 5, Celtic 0, Liverpool 8, Portsmouth 1, AFC Richmond 1, Chelsea 8, Southampton 0, Everton 3, Arsenal 4, Manchester United 2, West Ham United 3, Rangers 4. At the top half of the table, we have at the top of the table is Liverpool with 9 points. In second, we have is Arsenal with 9 points. And in third, we have is Chelsea with 9 points. In fourth, we have is Glasgow Rangers with 7 points. In fifth, we have is Tottenham with 7 points. In sixth, we have is Aston Villa with 7 points. In seventh, we have is Manchester City with 6 points. In eighth, we have is Leeds United with 4 points. In ninth, we have is Leicester with 4 points. And in 10th, we have is Brentford with 3 points. In the bottom half of the table, we have is Manchester United in 11th with 3 points. In 12th, we have is Newcastle United with 3 points. In 13th, we have is Wolves with 3 points. And in 14th, we have is Portsmouth with 3 points. In 15th, we have is Everton with 3 points. And in 16th, we have is AFC Richmond with 3 points. In 17th, outside of the relegation zone, we have is Watford with 2 points. And in the relegation zone, we have is Celtic with 1 point. In 19th, we have is Southampton with 0 points. And also bottom, we have is West Ham United with 0 points. And then next week, we have featuring for Matchday 4 is Rangers versus Aston Villa. And Manchester United versus Manchester City in the Manchester Derby. And also the other game highlights for all the other matches will also be stored for Matchday 4 of the Premier League. And that's going to be that from us here today of the Premier League here for Matchday 3. We'll be back for next week for Matchday 4 as we'll be featuring Rangers versus Aston Villa and also the Manchester Derby as Man U have to turn up in that match against Man City next week after losing the last 2 matches so far of this Premier League campaign at the start of the season. But until then, for myself here today, Gary Lineker, goodbye for now.